Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here on the island of La Palma, here in Spain's Canary Islands, just before the 2015 Transvulcania Ultramarathon with South African Ryan Sands. How's it going?
Yeah, really good. Super excited to be here and went for a run on the island this morning. It's just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah, so this is pretty amazing to me. You've been at this sort of mountain, ultra running, trail running business for quite some time, but you just told me this is going to be your first sky running race.
Yes.
What gives?
I'm not too sure why I've waited so long. I think I've just probably focused a lot more on the 100k and 100-mile distance races.
Okay.
So, yeah, but super excited. I think for me, 2015 is a year of trying new things and different things. So, yeah, really looking forward to the race.
So is this your first visit to the Canaries, or have you been here before?
My first visit to La Palma, but I've been to Gran Canaria
one of the other islands.
Yes.
That's right, yeah.
So,
well, yeah, you started your 2014 off with a bang there in winning Gran Canaria. So
yes.
You're probably familiar with the volcanic, big ascent, lots of technical stuff up high, and then
yes.
big descent type race.
Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of stuff. It's fairly technical, and yeah, kind of the long climbs and then the long descents. So
yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's also nice and warm, which I enjoy running in the hotter conditions.
And you're coming off of the South African summer, so you're probably a lot more acclimated than us Northern Hemisphere folks.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been really warm in Cape Town, where I live in South Africa, the past few months. It has started to switch over to winter the last 2 weeks, so it's getting a bit chilly. So I've kind of chosen the perfect time to come here.
Yeah. Well, let's look back at your 2014 real quick. You started off, here in the Canary Islands with Gran Canaria. After that, you had a big mountain project at home.
Yes.
And then you hit 200 milers right in a row. Ultra Trail Mount Fuji and then Western States. And then kind of after that, at least on the international radar, things went quiet for Ryan Sands.
Yes.
So recap your year for us.
Yeah, obviously the first half of the year, to recap in a nutshell, was pretty crazy. Like looking back now, I was super stoked that it did it, and it obviously went according to plan, and I was really happy with the end result and coming second on the World Ultra Tour. But it definitely took its toll on me. The second half of the year was a lot more chilled out. I did a race in Madagascar and then a couple of local races, and then also got married, but I ended up finishing off the year with glandular fever, so I think it took its toll on me. It was a little bit too much racing, but
are you saying getting married is stressful a little bit?
Yeah, definitely was it added a bit of stress. I think it was my bachelor's party that was probably the most stressful.
I don't want to know what happened.
Yeah. No, it was all good, but looking back, it was a really fun year, and it was a year I learned a lot and evolved as an athlete, but I think I overdid it a little bit. So kind of 2015, I think for me, I'm going to try and take it a little bit more easy, do a little bit less racing, and we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. So Transvulcania this weekend, and then what else is on your calendar this year?
And then after that's going to be Western States.
You're coming over to the U.S. again?
Yeah. As I said, Western States is kind of towards the end of my season last year, so I felt I was a little bit tired, but no excuses. I gave it my best crack on the day. So I want to go back there this year, probably give it one last go on fresh legs, and then see how that goes. And then second half of the year, I'm looking to do Raider Reunion. So that'll be my other 100 miler for the year.
Island hopping.
Yeah. It's also pretty close to South Africa, so hopefully it won't involve too many long flights. Western States and then Raider Reunion are my two focus races for the year. I've entered for CCC because I want to do UTMB in 2016, so I might head there to just check out the course and
see the scene.
And get a feel for it. So really excited, but kind of just focused on Transvulcania this weekend for now.
Yeah. Well, let's look at your training for this race. You said you had to take some time off because of glandular fever. When did you start up with your training again? How's it been? Like you said, maybe you've done things a little bit differently with your training?
Yeah, I've definitely downscaled my training a lot more, so doing a lot less hours, but a little bit more quality work, and mainly focusing everything kind of towards Western States for now. So I think Western States is 100 miles, but it's quite a fast 100 mile.
It's a fast 100 miles.
Yeah, so you got to be fast.
Over before dark, right?
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, touch wood.
Yeah, I've definitely done a lot more quality and less quantity, and I think it's worked out well. I'm recovering a lot quicker. As I say, I only started training, started like running again kind of middle of February, so I had to take off basically the whole of December and January and really build back into things slowly. But my recovery has been really good this year, so I think that the forced break was probably a good thing, and yeah, I think it's made me realize I've been running ultras for quite a while now, so I think I can get away with doing a little bit less distance and more quality.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how that theory and the change up in training pans out this weekend for you.
Yeah, I think obviously Transvulcania it's going to be pretty fast and intense for me.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit on the short side, but I think it's yeah,
Couple
it'll be
hours
great
too
training.
short.
Yeah, I think if we turned around and ran back again, I might feel a little bit more confident. But no, just looking forward to the experience.
Well, yeah. So the race itself, it's got just a really interesting course strategically. You know, it's a huge, many kilometers of climbing, and then the technicality aspect, and then the long 8,000 foot, what is that, 2,500 meters descent, something like that.
Yeah. So
and then there's this silly little, really hard finish. Like, how do you, being like the longer distance specialist that you are, how do you apply your own strategy to that? How do you figure out where your strengths and weaknesses are going to be?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay. I think I'm going to have to gauge it a little bit on race day. I want to say something for the end, like for the descent and the little flat through town, but obviously you don't want to be too far off the pace. Right. I tend to come from behind, so I can't like drift off too quickly. So I think I'm going to have to just see how I feel over the first 40 or 50 kilometers up on the climb. Ideally, I'd like to be kind of, I don't want to be more than kind of 8 to 10 minutes off the lead group. That's like in ideal case scenarios. But I'll just see how it goes, and then try to say something for the end. But obviously it's a race. A lot of things can happen.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to have to be really flexible with strategy. Maybe kind of mark out a few guys that I think run smart races, and then try and see where they are in comparison to me on race day.
And so who are those guys who you're going to be marking for Saturday?
Obviously Hernandez last year he got it right, but he
has a slightly different racing style than you. I mean, he goes out hard from the get-go.
That's what I was going to say. I'm sure he'll be way out ahead. I think someone like Timmy Olsen always runs a really smart race. Kind of comes on a bit stronger towards the end.
Yeah.
There's Dakota. He's often also up front. It's hard to kind of pick anyone in particular, but I think I'll just try and gauge off a few guys. Like if everyone's 30 minutes ahead, then I'll realize I've got to get a move on really quickly. So yeah, I think it's about being flexible. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's obviously a super competitive field, and yeah, I think I need a really competitive race before going into Western States. Just obviously having not raced competitively for about 6 or 7 months now, I could be a little bit rusty.
All right. Well, last question for you. With the rocky pumice dust and then some of the gnarly exposed rocks, what's your shoe choice on the weekend?
I'm going to use like a prototype shoe, obviously a Salomon. It's kind of a mixture between a Mantra and a Sense. So it's got
the sole is the...
Yeah, the sole and the outer sole is Mantra, and then the upper is going to be a Sense.
Okay.
Actually, I use them for most running conditions, so I just find them work really well. So yeah, I was actually quite surprised this morning running on the course how sandy it was. But I come from I started off running in the desert, so it might play into my favor a little bit.
Yeah, it might play into the. And didn't they used to call you the Sandman?
Yeah.
The Sandman's favor.
Yeah. So.
Well, best of luck to you.
Thanks very much.
And we'll see you out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.